So the head dipshit in charge locked down DC today. Because of course he fucking did. Yeah, none of us are surprised by this, right? None of us should be surprised by this. This is absolutely par for the course. But I'm going to walk you through a perspective, okay? Because I know a lot of people are freaking out right now. And like, yeah, this is bad. Yeah, this is fascism. Yeah, this is what dictators do. I totally get all that. But you know what, guys? You know what? I have a few perspectives for you. And we're going to walk through some of these mindset tools that I use to help us find groundedness and another perspective so that we don't get carried away by our anxiety and panic and what other people are certain is going to happen, okay? Now, my favorite perspective on this is one that I got from someone else, from Lucky Fox Tarot Reader. She's in my stories right now. I'm going to tag her in this. She just breaks this down so simply. She says, you know why they're moving to DC? Because they're getting kicked out of LA. Yeah. You know those LA music festivals we've been talking about? Mm-hmm. And you know those lawsuits that have been happening? Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're losing in Los Angeles. Yeah. So they got to take their big boy tough guy show somewhere else. Goodbye, bitch. Now, perspective number 2 is that, yes, of course, this is a distraction. We know it's a distraction, right? Yeah, because the Epstein shit is not getting quieter. It's getting louder. Despite what judges and what people are making what decisions, the outcry of the people is rising and getting louder. So, of course, they need to do some big bad show of force to try to scare people, to remind people we're tough and we're in charge. But yeah, no, we don't have to fall for it. Yeah. Because I know there's a lot of people out there who are saying this was their plan all along. Martial law, it's coming. And he did make this stupid press conference where he said, I think we're going to do this in every city. But guys, remember, we've been through this before, right? We've been through this before. Martial law is not feasible in the United States. It's impossible. We're too big a landmass. We have too many people. We don't have enough military personnel and resources. It cannot and will not happen. Now, will they try to occupy other cities? Yeah. And I've said that. Of course they're going to try. That's what dictators do. Dictators gonna be dicks. But just because he's trying real hard to be a bad guy, it does not mean that we have to lose our heads. And that's where we get into my favorite mantra for terrible times. How good can this get? Yeah. You remember my video, Mantras for Terrible Times? It's in my emotional support playlist, so you can watch that. I think there's 7 of them. They're fantastic. So how good could this get? My favorite viable option for walking through any terrifying thing where my brain wants to tell me all the bad ways this could go down. Because remember, our bodies, our subconscious minds, they really have one job, and that's to protect us from death. That's really what the ego is. When we talk about spiritual ego, it's the part of us that is only human and needs to protect us from all the human shit. That's its job. And because it has like one job and it's really vitally important, it gets very, very loud, especially when we're in times of heightened anxiety and nervous system activation. It gets very loud saying, I told you so, I knew it was going to happen and you better run. So just because it's loud doesn't mean it is correct. Okay, so to counterbalance that, I love to get into the thought exercise, how good could this get? What's the best thing that could happen? So rather than going on a negative spiral of all the bad things that can happen, we start upward and we say, how good can this get? And you can start with little things, just that he's doing this and it's waking people up, which I've been saying, everything he does wakes somebody up. Another great thing that can happen and will happen is that as he pulls the same bullshit in DC, the same stuff that happened in LA is going to start happening here. Both the response from the public and the legal ramifications. What he's doing is not lawful. And there will be legal challenges to this act. And number 3, I already kind of touched on it, but the public backlash and response to this. If they got this mad in LA, what's going to happen in DC? Who's going to show up in full force there? Now, myself and many other psychics have been shown and have seen mass protest in DC. We've been shown that all along. And so to me, I get really excited thinking like, is this it? Is this where it begins? Because what I've been shown about these mass protests is this happens right around the time of removal. Now, I don't know for certain, but this is what's the best that could happen? If you're going to spiral about negative things that can happen, why don't you spiral about positive things that can happen? We can do the same thing. So every time he does something so egregious, I get excited thinking, oh, hey, this is adding more counts to his rap sheet. This is more fuel to the removal fire. And now, of course, there is one other curiosity I have to ask. This is This is just speculation, okay? This is wild speculation. Take it for what you will. But I have to wonder, is there a preemptive reason? Is there a preemptive reason that they're wanting to do this now? This can't all be because Senior Gigantic Ballsack is scared in DC. This can't truly be the reason, right? So when I play pretensies just for fun, I ask myself, if we're speculating into what's the big plan behind this, could it be that he's afraid something is coming and he's trying to get this extra layer of impenetrable protection around him? Because as long as we're using our imaginations, let's use it for good, yeah? Yeah. But as always, throughout all of this, let's stay grounded, folks, okay? Even if we're imaginative in a positive way or imaginative in a negative way, we live in the physical world, and we're going to stay grounded in physical reality. We're not going to get swept up into wild speculation one way or the other. We can play with it and then put it down. And then we're going to stay grounded. And we're going to take whatever action we need to affect the most change. Maybe all we can do right now is tend to our mental health. Maybe all we can do right now is disconnect from the news, get in nature, touch grass, connect with our loved ones, our community. We need to get healthy. We need to get safe. We need to stay grounded. And from that safe, balanced, healthy space, we can affect more change. You guys know I love Nina, your witchy healer, and she has the Circles of Effectiveness playlist. And she walks you through this. Where am I most effective? What kind of action can I take right now to affect the most change? Whether that's personally, like I just said, or whether we're then going to take action outside of this circle. What action can we take to affect change in DC? How can we get involved? And this is how we need to walk through every crisis they throw our way. We can sit and spiral and panic and stew and let Aaron Parnas and others whip us into a frenzy, or we can stay grounded. We can detach from their crazy narrative. We can be open and hopeful to what's another way this could go. And how can I take care of myself, take care of those in my circle of influence to make it through this time and be effective resistors and participants of positive change. This is our best course of action during this time, where we're going to have highs and we're going to have lows. This is the path of social change. This is the path of resistance. It's going to come with the highs and lows. And this is how we walk through it, with groundedness and with the potential to affect the greatest good of all. So this is how I'm going forward. And of course, as always, I invite you along with me.